All right, let's talk about buying a home in Toronto. If you're in the thick of it, you know it feels less like a transaction and more like a high-stakes competitive sport. But what if you had the playbook? What if you knew the winning strategy? Well, in this explainer, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're breaking down the exact steps you need to take to turn this whole overwhelming process into a successful purchase.
So, let me ask you, are you ready? Because today isn't just about hoping you get a house. It's about becoming a winning bidder. This is about moving from just participating in the market to actually coming out on top with the keys to your new home right in your hand. And here's the absolute truth. Success in a market this competitive almost never comes down to luck. It's all about smart preparation, it's about making decisive moves, and it's about having a clear, battle-tested strategy before you even look at a single listing. And that's exactly what we're going to build together today. Okay, so here's our game plan. We've laid out your path to a winning bid in 5 simple sections. First, we'll tackle the market challenge. Second, we're building your financial foundation. Third, we'll get into mastering the property search. Fourth, and this is the big one, crafting the winning offer. And finally, number 5, what happens beyond the bid? Let's kick things off with section 1. You know, to win any game, you have to understand the fields you're playing on. And believe me, the Toronto market, it's got its own unique set of rules and pressures. So take a look at this number, 108%. What does that even mean? Well, in a lot of Toronto's most competitive neighborhoods, that is the average sale-to-list price ratio. That means homes are selling, on average, for 8% over the asking price. This isn't a rare thing. It's the norm. This is the reality of bidding wars, and it's the #1 reason why a half-hearted offer just isn't going to cut it. Which brings us right into section 2. Because knowing how intense the market is, your very first strategic move has to happen way before you step foot in an open house. It's all about building an absolutely rock-solid financial foundation. And the cornerstone of that whole foundation, it's your mortgage pre-approval. And listen, this is not one of those quick online calculators. This is a formal evaluation by a lender based on your real income, your real credit score, your real documents. To a seller, a buyer with a pre-approval is a serious contender. This piece of paper is your power. It tells everyone you've got the financial muscle to see this thing through. So how do you get one? It's actually a pretty straightforward 4-step process. First, you gather up your financial documents. Think pay stubs, tax returns, that sort of thing. Then you contact a mortgage broker or your bank. They'll do a proper credit check. And finally, you get that golden ticket, your commitment letter. Seriously, getting this done first is absolutely non-negotiable. Now, beyond the mortgage itself, you've really got a budget for the full picture. The down payment is the big one, obviously. But in Toronto, you get hit with 2 land transfer taxes, one for the province and one for the city. Then you've got your legal fees, and you might even want to pay for a home inspection before you bid. These closing costs can add up to tens of thousands of dollars, so you need to have that cash ready to go. Okay, your finances are locked in. You're pre-approved. Now we can move on to section 3. Mastering the property search. This is where you take all that financial power and you turn it into a super focused, efficient hunt for the right place. And the single most important exercise you can do right now is this one: separating your needs from your wants. Your needs are your absolute 100% non-negotiables, the deal breakers. The wants, those are the nice to haves. In a market where you might literally have only a few hours to decide on a house, knowing this difference with crystal clarity lets you act fast and with total confidence when that perfect property pops up. Which brings us to the main event. Section 4, crafting a winning offer. All that prep, all that financial organizing, it all leads to this moment. This is where you put your cards on the table. An offer is so much more than just the price. Think of it as having 4 key levers you can adjust. The price is the obvious one, sure, but a larger deposit shows you're serious and financially sound. Having few or no conditions can be a massive game changer. And hey, even a flexible closing date that works for the seller can make your offer shine, even if it's not the absolute highest. Let's really dig into conditions for a second. A firm offer, meaning no conditions for financing or inspection, is every seller's dream. It's clean, it's a sure thing, but it puts all the risk squarely on your shoulders. A conditional offer protects you, but let's be honest, in a bidding war, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. This is probably the biggest strategic call you and your agent will have to make. And if you do end up in that bidding war, you've got options. You could go in with what's called a strong open, a really high initial bid designed to scare everyone else away. The risk? You might overpay. Or you could take it slow with incremental bids, raising your offer in smaller steps. Every situation is different, and the right play depends on how many other buyers you're up against. And I want you to remember this. Just burn this into your brain. It is not always about who throws the most money at the seller. An offer that is clean, firm, and hassle-free can be just as powerful, sometimes more powerful than the one with the highest price tag. Simplicity is your secret weapon.
And that leads us perfectly into our final section, number 5, beyond the winning bid. You did it. They accepted your offer. It's an amazing feeling, but you're not quite at the finish line yet. There are a few key administrative steps to get through. This timeline lays out the home stretch for you. As soon as your offer is accepted, you've got to deliver the deposit, usually within 24 hours. Then, if you had any conditions, you'll work on getting those fulfilled. Next, you'll meet with your lawyer to sign all the final paperwork. You'll do one last walkthrough of the property to make sure everything's as it should be. And then, it's closing day, the day you finally get those keys. So there you have it. From understanding just how intense this market is, to building up your financial power, to crafting a killer offer, and navigating those final steps, you now have the playbook. This is your guide to winning. And that leaves us with just one last question. You have the knowledge now, you have the strategy, you know the path forward. So the only real question left is, what's your first move going to be?